right, I got my alarm going off that Thom Lauzon is in here this morning already. 66 degrees. We got sunshine today. It is going to be a pretty nice day. 78 later on is what Roger Hill is saying. Clear skies tonight, 52. And then tomorrow on Thursday, it looks pretty good. Sunny, maybe a few clouds, but 80 degrees, we'll take it. Raylene, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Well, how the hell are you?
I'm doing good.
What do we have in Vermont news this morning? Anything?
Well, we know that the budget passed and that the legislature, they've convened. They're done. And 5 out of the 8 vetoes were overturned. So we'll see how all of that plays out today. I haven't read all of them. I know some of them because we were posting them as they went along. But we will do a summarization of that this afternoon and get them all out there.
Anything else? So
that is done. Then we have the investigation of the officer-involved shooting down in Fairhaven, where a gentleman that was armed and in an altercation fled the scene. And when bystanders were actually able to get him and hold him, and they were trying to hold him until police came, and they disarmed him, but the police were not aware of that. And when they arrived, he tried to flee the scene.
Yeah,
and
jumped in a car.
Struck one of the officers, the officer Hewitt, that did fire the shot. One shot that ultimately ended in the man's death.
Wow.
And so.
Wow. Anything else that you're seeing?
There's probably all kinds of things, but truthfully, I didn't see a lot of Vermont news. Lots of Vermonty things happened right here in the city last night, and that's where my time was occupied.
Right.
Yeah.
The Vermont House and Senate passed the extension for the hotel motel program, which is going to affect about 1,200 households. That's one of the big stories that's trending this morning in Vermont. We're live from Fly on the Wall Productions, Main Street Barrie, on Facebook and YouTube, and streamed everywhere you get your podcasts, and on the web at airedoutvt.com. Thanks to the Central Vermont Chamber of Commerce. They've got their big mixer tonight over at Bulldog. We'll be there. I'll be there.
You'll be there. I won't be because of my appointments and stuff.
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. We've got a big 50-50 raffle going on for the Imagination Station over on Summer Street. I look forward to it. Hanging out with Kim and the rest of everyone over there.
And today is Wednesday. That means it's Ladies' Day over at Vermont Quick Lube and Car Wash South Barrie.
Yes. Get over there. If you're a lady, you get your car wash and what's the other thing?
A flower.
A flower. Yes, a carnation. Yeah. Beautiful flower. Get over there. Vermont Quick Lube and Car Wash. Also, Billtown Roadhouse today. Town of Berlin, Preston's Kia, Laser Systems, Washington County Mental Health, Optical Expressions, Effecto Homes, and that's just a couple of our sponsors.
Vermont Concrete, Cutting and Solutions, Yipes, Barry Bevins.
Look at that's just right off the top of your head.
Yeah.
Amazing. Today is National, wait for it, Daylight Appreciation Day, which is, of course, the 21st of June. We recognize the summer solstice, first day of summer. Barely feeling like it, but, it is officially now summer. Thom Lauzon with us this morning.
Right. Another sponsor.
Yeah, another sponsor, yes, Salvador and Babic, and, of course, Green Mountain Mulch. Thom, welcome.
Hey, how are you?
We're thrilled to have you in here.
Well, thanks for having me. I like coming in and chatting with you.
Yeah, man. Let's jump in.
Vent a little bit.
Let's go. Let's go. We already have a lot.
What would you like to talk about?
We have a lot of people watching this morning.
The circus?
The circus. What happened last night? What happened?
It was all 3 rings. I mean, pretty disappointed. Just, disappointed, easy to get angry. Got a good night's sleep, so I'm calmed down. But honestly, I think what happened last night with regard to the appointments, the way that Raylene and Alice Farrell were treated, I think it was uncalled for. Take exception to it. I think it was uncalled for. Yeah.
Preordained?
People, absolutely. Rehearsed and preordained. That's my opinion. People can rail and say otherwise. I really don't give a shit, okay? I've been doing it a long time. I watched the council and the mayor blow process time after time after time. It was, it was disappointing. So we started out.
Yeah, what happened?
We started out by interviewing. First appointee was Joellen Mulvaney, who currently chairs the Diversity and Equity Committee, and I know people can certainly have different opinions about Joellen. My opinion, and I've said this consistently throughout the appointment process, is you've got to give me a reason not to appoint someone. Okay, and screaming "fuck you" at me into a mic isn't a reason not to appoint you. As I said, Joellen did good work. She started talking about New Directions for Barrie, which was a program that she started, 20 years ago now. Mm-hmm. I don't know, as you get older, you say 20 years is probably 30. It was a great program. She worked with children, taught them acceptance and tolerance, and really did a good job. It was a program that I supported as mayor, and Karen and I also supported it personally. We supported it financially. And, so the fact that her and I see the world a little bit differently and may approach a problem differently or a solution differently, well, that's not a reason to, or she screams fuck you into a mic at me. That's not a reason not to appoint someone. When you're making an appointment, you're appointing on behalf of the city, not your own personal beliefs. Okay, you're sitting there having been elected by your constituents and you're representing them. So I had no issue. We listened to Joellen. Again, some of the things she said I didn't agree with. Some of the things that, she talked about when she talked about recording meetings and how she thought that should be done. Her and I may have a little bit of a difference of opinion on things, but I can't sit there and deny the good work that she's done.
This is why he should be mayor.
I know this.
Relax on that.
No.
We'll get there soon enough.
Soon enough?
No, so I nominated her for the appointment, and mayor objected and said, well, we haven't heard from anyone. And I said, look, I'm going to be doing this all night, so get used to it. And my opinion has always been, when it's an incumbent, you've got to give me a reason not to appoint you, or I will appoint the incumbent unless I'm given a reason. And the fact that, listen, we had some great candidates. I mean, that was, so you always got to have the positive view. Mm-hmm. The positive view was we had more candidates for some of the positions than we had seats. And while it's disappointing, I always hate when that happens because, if people make an effort, I want to see them appointed if they make an effort, if we have the room. But again, I also believe that unless you give me a reason not to appoint an incumbent, and it's got to be a good reason, not they don't like Thom Lauzon, don't worship the ground I walk on. That's not a good reason. They may see the world differently. That's not a good reason. So I think for the most part, the council made the right choices. We appointed all of the incumbents. And then when it got down to a seat on the and these appointments were going lickety-split. I mean, we'd throw a couple of softball questions, boom, they'd hit it out of the park. And that's the way it should be. It's not a freaking Supreme Court lifetime appointment, okay? It's a committee or a council, in Barrie City, Vermont. So then we got to Raylene's appointment or interview.
Is
and
this
then,
where we shifted gears into the shit show?
We definitely shifted gears.
Okay.
And I don't care. Look, I like most of the people that I serve with on the council. But it doesn't mean I have to agree with them, and it doesn't mean, at one point Michael got a little uppity with Jake, and the two of them started an exchange, and I have an issue telling both of them you're out of order. Mm-hmm. And, if the mayor can't maintain control over the meeting, I'll step in any time. If I see us blowing process, I will step in every time. That's the way it's going to be. And if you don't like it,
where was Nicholas? Where was our city manager?
Where was he?
Yeah,
he was he was ducking for cover.
Yeah,
because he's kind of between the two of them, so he just like whoa. No, Nicholas is great.
Yeah, the poor guy.
Nicholas really. Every manager I've ever worked with really tries hard, except for one a long, long time ago when I was first elected, and she didn't last. They try to rise above the politics and the personalities, and you have to. You're not there for that. Mm-hmm. You're there to manage the city. And so Nicholas was just, when I looked over, he was just leaning way back in his chair. But, so it took, 30 seconds or so to get the two of them to calm down, and it's okay. Michael's already gone on the damn apology tour. So... Oh Lord! No, he's already. Look,
I'm not apologizing.
I don't think you have anything to apologize for, Raylene. I don't think Alice Farrell has anything to apologize for. I think when people start, it's sometimes I try to make light of a situation. I was seething last night as we went through that. I was so disappointed in people and how they attacked some of the appointees, how Raylene was attacked. And, it's bullshit. I mean, Michael called it right. In the council chambers, I do try to maintain a little bit of decorum. I'm not, I make mistakes just like anyone else does. If I'm out on the street, I'll call it the way I see it. And I saw it exactly as Michael called it very quickly. It was bullshit. You just, wow. We're inclusive, right? We're diverse and inclusive. Until you have a different of opinion, then we lose our fucking minds.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Can I make that my quote?
Yeah, I'm a little wound up about it. Yeah, I really am.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because weak leaders don't like to be challenged. When people talk to me about the type of people I like to employ, people smarter than I am, people better than I am, people who don't necessarily bow down, you walk on water. Believe me, the way, I had a wedding anniversary about a week ago, and the reason it's lasted 36 years is I get challenged every day. I get told I'm dumb every day. I don't even try. There are certain. I don't even have an opinion anymore.
So what?
But you don't want people. You want people. So it's the Diversity and Equity Committee. Now I absolutely believe in and will defend. I absolutely believe that Raylene and Alice believe in equity. They believe in acceptance. They believe in justice. They believe in fairness. And I absolutely believe that. They may not see the world exactly as other members of the Diversity and Equity Committee see it, but it doesn't mean they're bad people. They may hold certain beliefs. JD, I've said it and said it and said it. Right now the Mayor's Coalition in Vermont is a joke, quite frankly. We had a strong mayor's coalition when I served, and we had members who were very different. Moreau Weinberger and I, there are things that we see very differently, but there are things that we were in lockstep on. And the way we always worked the mayor's coalition is it required, there are 9 mayors in Vermont, and if we were going to bring an issue forward, we needed 6 votes, or it didn't move forward to the legislature. And so we would often visit with the legislature, but it required 6 votes. And what we learned very quickly was that we had strong differences of opinion on certain issues. But we have so many problems here in Vermont. We did then and we do now. We had so many problems that we focused on the areas where we agreed. And we never got to the end of our list in years and years and years. And JD, I've said it, we will always have more problems, unfortunately, than we have resources. So there's a lot of areas where we can agree, and I suspect that if Raylene or Alice were appointed to the Diversity and Equity Committee, and we only have one seat. I voted to appoint Joe Ellen. I voted to appoint all of the incumbents.
And us.
I think if they were appointed, I don't think they would be a disruption at all. I think they would bring value to the table.
Diversity.
Of course, the Diversity and Equity Committee,
and
which is changing its
appointed.
name now, and I apologize. Well, we haven't voted to change the name, but it's going to be Justice is in there somewhere. I guess we saw Justice last night, didn't we? Mm-hmm. It was a joke. Honestly, top 3. I've served top 3 disappointing moments in the city council chambers. That made it. Yeah, made the list. It really riles me up. I'm really trying hard now as I think back on it. I'm trying hard to, because I appreciate the people and I respect the people that I serve with, but I think the line of question, it was out of line. Joe Reel got up. Now, Joe Reel and I, we don't see the world the same. And like I said, I was so damn mad, I said, I got to make a joke or I'm going to lose my shit. So when Joe got up, I'm like, hey, Joe, what about your Facebook page? So they got, everybody was getting into Raylene's Facebook page.
Yeah.
And okay. Go take a look at Joe Reel's Facebook page. Joe has some very strong opinions, right? But those are his opinions. Mm-hmm. He just sees things differently. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But if you look at core values that we all share, respecting people, treating people fairly, equitably. When you look at everyone in Barrie and say, okay, well, what are our core values? They're all the same. We're all the same. We're all the same, JD. And except for some who are holier than thou, and they scream diversity and equity and justice and, oh, Jesus, justice. Oh, I'm butthurt. Oh, she called me a name, told me to shit in the woods. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Get over yourself. Stop being weak. God damn, move this city forward, would you? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, all right, now we got to talk about something.
No, I was just going to say.
No, look, we all share those values.
There's
and
a level of transparency that is.
There's no transparency. We talk about it. There is no transparency. There's secret email accounts. The shit's going on.
Tom,
don't even get me going, please.
I'm talking about. There's a level of transparency of what goes into these microphones.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
and
look, what you see is what you get.
That's what I'm trying to say.
You don't like me, whatever. I get called out all the time. Go to Barrie Values. I got them all. Go to Barrie Values. I got screenshots, things that have been said about me. Whatever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like Joellen Mulvaney. I will say it. I know some people have a very strong. I like Ed Staniger. I like their daughter. They're decent, good people. Now, you get her riled up, and she can be pretty passionate about things, and so can you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you, Raylene. You didn't sit there and cower like, oh, sorry, I told you to shit.
Never happened.
No, I mean, whatever. You held true to your values, and you were decent about it and kind about it. And, to be attacked, and like I said, it's a sign of weakness.
Yeah.
When you can't stand someone else standing in front of you saying, well, I don't agree with that, and I think you're wrong, and I think you're misguided, and I think you should do this, it's a sign of weakness. It shows that, you're just not secure in your own skin, and I don't know. Maybe there's a little girl dying to get out. I don't know. I don't know.
We don't, the name of the podcast is aired out. We're transparent about what we bring into the mic, and Raylene's transparent about what she says into the mic. You certainly
and
are.
If you don't like it, okay, if you don't like it, if you really, no, even better. I'm not aware that you have, I think you would draw the line. I think, there was a news story about a gentleman who lives in Barrytown, owned 802 Spirits. I think if he said, hey, I want to come in and tell you what I think you'd probably say no. It would never happen. Sorry.
Right.
But
of course,
you've invited Jake Hemrick how many times to come in and have a conversation with you? I'll go anywhere. I'll go to any event. If you want to have a conversation with me, it's okay. And if you want to say, F you, scream F you, when I ask a question at a council meeting, look, that's so I don't.
Yeah.
We need fewer disruptions in the council meeting, but I won't take it personally.
Right.
And I won't say, well, then I'm going to pay you back.
Right.
My own personal score. I'm going to put myself before the needs of the city.
Right.
And before the benefit of the city.
Sure.
And I'm going to put my own personal feelings first because I'm a little whiner.
I invited the whole council on anytime. When I spoke in front of the DRB, I looked at everyone and I said, anyone is welcome on our microphones at any point in time. And I can't think of anyone who took advantage of it other than Michael Booten
and Deering
and Michael Deering
and Thom. Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, well, it's part of the cancel culture.
But I'm not.
I wouldn't ignore you, and then you'll have to go away because we're so important. Wow.
Yeah, and the mayor sent me an email saying, I don't recall getting an invitation from you directly. I invited everyone.
Bring it to his house. Well, no, wrap it up in a little box.
But, if he does come on, I'm going to ask him why, I'm going to ask him questions that I want answers to.
Uh-oh.
Right.
Be respectful.
Of course I'll be respectful, but I would like, if he comes on my microphones, I'm going to ask him questions that I have.
Well, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
And, when I calm down a little bit, I'll have conversations with some of the counselors. I am disappointed at the way Alice and Raylene were treated. I'm disappointed. That freaking question, I mean, it was like a Supreme Court nomination for God. The questions went on and on and on, and they kept trying to bait you into certain answers. And I'm like, this is just so stupid.
Well, my answer was just my answer.
This is just so stupid. And by the way, the whole committee process, we blew process on it. We never properly warned when we reset the committees. We never properly warned the vote. I pointed that out to the mayor. He blew it off. So guess what? We may just start over.
Don't even.
We may just start over. And if you don't want to listen to me, maybe you'll have to listen to Superior Court. Right?
Yeah.
It's just it's the level of tolerance. It's just
So for the folks that weren't there last night, I mean, what kind of questions was Raylene asked?
It was everything about her. I think what they were zeroing in on was they wanted. I think
the no sex in schools.
Yeah. No, it was parental notification, wasn't it?
Yes. Well, because I said no sex in school, and she asked what I meant about that statement because I agreed with an article, and the article was about parental notification, about that I don't feel that should happen between a young child or a child and a teacher or a guidance counselor. It's a family matter between the parent and the child.
So they took exception
right
to
now.
that.
If I'm a parent, it better be a family matter and a parental matter for me. Whew. Jesus.
First of all, JD, it is very complicated. If you were to ask me, blank check, no parental notification, my answer would be absolutely not. I would not support that. That said, there are parents who are incredibly supportive, who raise their children the right way, who hold them close every day, and there are parents who, don't. There are parents who are a total failure.
And in
as
those
parents.
cases,
and,
we
and
have
that
things
that
in
child
place.
is depending on them, and they fail them every day.
Yeah.
So it's not a one size fits all question. And when you pose it the way it was posed to Raylene, it was stupid. It was a stupid line of questioning that, it's a much more complicated issue than just, I want you to say, it was just dumb. It was like a Supreme Court nomination, and the questioning of, go back and watch the meeting.
But I was okay. I was okay. I'm
very okay. As was Alice.
Yeah, I'm very okay.
And with all due respect, Raylene, I would have supported Alice in that particular. I thought she handled herself with poise, didn't get caught up in the drama, answered every question, looked people in the eye. She should have been appointed.
And she was.
She wasn't appointed, huh?
She was.
Was what?
To the diversity and equity.
No.
Oh, she wasn't?
No, her appointment failed.
Oh, I thought she was appointed.
That's why I'm so worked up.
Oh.
I don't look. I was not going to support you. I asked you that question. I said, well, you have 2 here, and I said, which is your preference? And you said Planning Commission, and we appointed. Of course, I got smarter as the night went on because I knew who they were going to support, so I'd lump them into 2.
Yeah.
So it's like, let's see that nomination fail.
Right.
Don't try to out-parliament me. It won't work. So, but no, Alice was not appointed. That is why. So we have a vacant seat. And who knows? Maybe they're doing emails and on the Berry Values page right now, trying to say, "Hey, who's gonna apply? We'll make it look like you just wandered in and just learned about this." Oh God! One of these days they'll really mess up. And what they don't realize is that it won't be a Freedom of Information Act request. It will be a subpoena. And then guess what? Let the good times roll. I already got my mole. I already got my screenshots. Times are coming.
Yeah.
So,
but great things happened, though.
But that's what disappointed me. I mean, I thought, I said, I like to see more. And Teddy Wozniak even said it. How did he say? I like to spread the wealth. In other words, if someone, rather than appoint a person to 2 committees, he would prefer to appoint one person, one committee, and then a separate person to another committee. I guess not in the case of Alice Farrell, who has, she has a lifetime of experience, and maybe I don't even agree with everything she has to say, and probably she doesn't agree with everything I have to say. But that's how we solve problems.
Raylene has every right under the sun, as do all of us in America, to say what we think, what we feel, whether it's into a microphone or on her personal Facebook page.
And not in the council chambers. We're in a vacuum there.
Well, I don't normally
we got to talk about something
I don't
else.
normally say it in the council chambers. I said it on my own Facebook page. But he brought it up last night. So.
Right. But Raylene,
she didn't flinch.
She answered questions honestly and transparently.
Right.
That's how I feel.
And there was nothing offensive about anyone's answers. No one.
Tom, we've got
and it's just the crap.
We
started out with area development, and
we've got to start cutting through this bureaucratic bullshit, Tom.
With this former board member, and look, we all. I think we were all shocked, disappointed, and angered by the views of that. And for the life of me, I remember him owning 802 Spirits or Old Route 302. Wait, what the hell did he own?
Yeah, it was the old route.
Honestly, but there was not. I don't recall any significant contribution. And it was really interesting because his own business partner had no idea that he harbored these views. And I believe him. I've heard people say, oh, how the hell could you not know? Want to talk about Brandon Batham? He was a member of the city council. So if you want to make people guilty by association, let's go there.
I remember that.
But, but they don't like it. They get uncomfortable when you talk about that. Well, that's the bad thing about, serving with someone who has been around for a while.
Do you think it was attempted to draw or to drag in a May Green to all of this?
I think if we were to get all of the emails between the reporter and people in the city, I think people might be a little surprised. That's my personal opinion. But it doesn't matter, JD. It doesn't matter how it happened. Okay, it did happen. But do we vet? Well, look at some of the appointments that we made last evening. Did we ask any questions like that? Did we say, well, what are your views on this? Do you hold any? We never asked any of the appointees. Do you hold any beliefs that you think we might find offensive? That might reflect badly on the city. So here's starting the meeting, right, with this, I don't know, soliloquy about, well, this person was on and going on, and talking about greater transparency, and we got to do better, and this and that. And then when we have appointees in front of us, nobody asks a question. Nobody said, do you have any views that would disappoint us, that would reflect poorly on the city, that would impede the work of the committee? Never ask those questions. So it's a show, JD. It's a show. And by the way, what are we building? What have we done to grow the grand list? What have we done? Nothing as far as I can see. I don't see anything happening. And it's been how long? Mm-hmm. And we just, I don't know, we talk about this same stuff, all the time and trip over ourselves. And it's just a one-upsmanship thing. And look how much better we are. And, ooh, I'm so holy. Put a statue up of me. I don't know.
May, however,
stood her ground.
Good for she, very much with grace, she did her presentation and handled that whole line very well. And I mean, she and Shannon both, their presentation was awesome. They did a great job. And for a team that has kind of been up against the wall, I believe, she did amazing.
Right.
I was super proud. I was like, I sent her a message as soon as
then we
I
got into
home.
The whole Barry City, Barry Town thing again. Look, the reason we keep the reason
who
certain councilors...
Who has a better softball team?
No, the issue is Barrytown is a much more politically conservative municipality than the city is, and so we got to pay them back a little bit every chance we get. Just don't want to work with them. I don't know. Maybe we should introduce an ordinance. If you're a Barrytown resident, sorry, you can't be buried in Hope Cemetery anymore. That's the city. We don't want you. We'll take your tax dollars.
Even though
we'll take your tax dollars.
Even though
come and run the businesses in our downtown, but no, we don't want any part of you.
Right.
But wait a minute. But we're inclusive, and we're saying that in the most inclusive way possible. Oh God.
Yeah.
It's
Wow. Just wow.
Yeah. Bring it.
What's going on with Teddy's ordinance? I can't think of the name of it. I can't remember.
Which ordinance is that? Community investment ordinance?
Yes.
Well, we passed it. I didn't vote for it. I think the issue that I just had issue with some of the record keeping requirements. And again, Teddy and I offered constructive feedback on the ordinance. I made it clear to Teddy that I wasn't going to support it, and I explained why. I think it talks about supporting smaller businesses, minority-owned businesses. The problem is those are, in my opinion, it sort of tilts it towards larger businesses who have greater record-keeping capacity because there are additional record-keeping requirements.
Okay.
And, the threshold wasn't really big. So, I had some comments about the ordinance, and Teddy took it in stride, and, it's not personal. It's just how you see things. So, no, that ordinance, 30 days, I believe. I'm not sure. So it should be law or ordinance in the city of Barry right about now.
Okay.
Because I think it's been, about 30 days. I don't know what we got coming up. Not much.
All right. Well,
we don't do anything.
The end of the month is coming up, and this will be round 2 of people being removed out of the area hotels and stuff.
No, there was part of the conversation, because again, you want to talk about, why do you think the legislature literally met? They convened, they had a number of votes, and they were out in a day. Mm-hmm. Again, it was appropriately and transparently, unlike local government. The governor and his team met with House and Senate leadership consistently, over the weekend and hammered out this deal. So no, it won't be. There are folks whose stay has been extended until I believe April of 24 as part of this deal. I haven't read the bill yet. I haven't. I'm just reading the bullet points.
Okay. I thought it was September, but could be wrong.
No, I think they extended to April,
24.
through April of 24, and I think
there is one more release at the end of the month. But anything July 1, any people remaining from July 1 on will stay in the hotels. And then the people that have already been exited will go through a process and see about getting them back in there.
Yeah, what she said.
And then everyone staying in the hospital, in the hotels, through the program, a part of their income, if they have income, will go towards 30%. Will go towards the rent, and the rents with the hotels are being negotiated.
Is there anything about July 1st that has got you uneasy?
Well, I think everything has me uneasy. I mean,
Raylene, I'm asking you the same thing.
That has me uneasy. I don't know. Boy, what a question.
Yeah.
Oh, what is that? What the hell?
I don't know.
What is that all about?
No, I'm just
like
asking.
as far as the legislation, and I have great concern over the clean heat and what it's going to do to residents who already struggle a lot.
Yeah,
it's
but that's
frightening
not
to me.
date specific.
No.
That's direction specific. I think they're just like in the city. I was just saying, there are things that make me antsy. The fact that we're not, all hands on deck, let's work on housing. Okay, we gave $250,000 to Downstreet. Here, build 9 units. Woo, we're saved. Well, but, what else are we working on? And, why do we get resistance and not assistance when we talk about projects in the downtown and when we talk about other housing development? Why do we get resistance and not assistance? And I can tell you, as someone who is active in Montpelier and Barrie, when I talk about the project that I'm involved with up on Isabella Circle, 34 housing lots, we did get approval for that. And then our project on State Street, the residential building on State Street, they are incredibly supportive. The folks over in Montpelier are welcoming and they're not like, oh, yes, whatever you want. I mean, there are rules, but they're trying to really they recognize the need for housing, and they're trying to figure out a way to say yes. And while that is absolutely true in City Hall and the building, it's not as true with individual members of the council. They are not as welcoming, and that's disappointing. So I wake up every day, JD, honestly optimistic about, the things that I can accomplish and projects that we have going on, and I wake up every morning optimistic, but it's what I saw last night at the council meeting, what I saw, the way Raylene, and sorry to keep rehashing it, but that is exactly what's wrong with our state, with our country, with our city. That if you don't agree lockstep, not only will we try to block you, we'll try to hurt you. Bring it.
Wow.
Bring a friend. So if you're going to try, bring a friend. Bring 2 friends. I like my odds. Yow.
I like your odds too.
Yeah.
I'll be back.
I have been asked a few times over the last couple of weeks. Hey, the next time you get Lauzon on,
Who talks like that?
everybody, Thom,
Okay.
ask him about the goddamn Bonacorsi building. What's going on over there?
It's gone.
The Bonacorsi building, clean site.
Looks
so,
great.
Yeah, I mean,
What's going up in there?
what's going on?
What's going on? Why did it take so goddamn long to have it cleaned up?
Well, we're still not done. We're getting there. Everyone that we've hired has worked incredibly hard. So like I said, last week, you have to hire an environmental engineer. The environmental engineer, as you're doing the cleanup, has to monitor you. We monitor air quality, and they sweep the property. We knew there was some vermiculite in the west wall. Based on the testing, we were reasonably certain that there was no additional contaminants throughout the site, but you still got to monitor. And so we did that. The site's been signed off on, and so the first order of business was to get it flat and clear and ready to accept something. And now what I've got to think about, and I welcome anyone's opinion. We can't rebuild what was there. You won't see, and nor would I want to. I wouldn't. You got to have park. That building. I don't know if you remember how the trucks had to back into the building. They had to pull the wrong way onto Merchants Row, and then block Prospect Street.
Yeah, right.
And man, if it happened when the school buses were picking up kids, it was tough. So I wouldn't do the same building there anyway, and even if I decided to design and permit something, it's a multi-month and probably year-long permitting process. We wouldn't be doing anything till 24. But the question I have to keep asking myself at this moment in time, if I was going to deploy and pick a number, because it's expensive to build right now, the minimum number is $1 million. I mean, just boom, it's $1 million. So if I was going to deploy $1 million in Barre, and this is where I've chosen to reinvest those funds. So if I was going to deploy $1 million in Barre, would it be on that site, or would it be somewhere else? Would I say, no, that site's going to wait 2 or 3 or 4 years? As I look at the site and I think about housing or I think about a business, as I stand on that site, it's not like, ooh, look at these incredible views.
Right.
You look across so, and it's right next to a railroad track, and appropriately an active railroad track.
Yeah.
I mean, we're making use of, Northeast Materials, I mean, they're hauling stone from Rock of Ages, and that helps fuel our economy, and they're doing that every day. And at, 7 o'clock, I usually hear the first whistle blow from my home up on Nelson Street. And you'd be surprised where my house is situated. I mean, I hear Thunder Road. Yeah. Love the sound of it. Sounds like home. I hear the band practicing down at the high school. I hear the whistle blow. And then when the whistle blows, it's kind of loud. Yeah. I mean, it's not like, I can hear it in the distance. It's kind of loud. So I have to think to myself, okay, if I were going to build housing, I've got to be mindful of the fact that there may be folks who work the night shift, and that's a railroad crossing. They're going to blow, they're going to be blowing their horn going through there the whole time. So there's a lot, and like I said, I'd welcome anyone's opinion, but that's the first question I ask myself. You got to make good decisions, and not decisions like, whoa, the building burned, and I'm saying, damn it, I'm rebuilding it. Well, that's kind of knee jerk. You have to ask yourself, like government, like we were just talking about, we have having more problems than you have resources. Well, I've probably got more projects and running around in my head than I have resources. So you always have to ask yourself, is this the best deployment of those funds for the city, for my company, and for the city as a whole, or could we do better?
Do you think that area would be that we need a parking lot more than we need anything else?
I've heard that. I mean, I will tell you that the in a nice way, the postmaster in Barre has already reached out to me. I know that a lot of folks who go to the post office, park there. I'm not going to put a bunch of stone blocks around it and say you can't park here. It's my land. I'm going to control what the hell goes on there. If you want to change your oil there, we're not going to get along. I'm going to have a hook on your car in about 5 seconds. But, there are a number of people who live in the downtown who routinely, they'll park on my property. And I always let them know, look, if I don't have, unless a tenant has a use for that space, I'm fine. I'm okay with you parking there.
Okay.
And you just, that's, it's best when a parking lot or any lot is used for multi-purposes. So the post office has already reached out, and they've shared a little bit with their future, about their future plans, what they think the Postal Service, I should say, not just the Berry City Post Office, what Postal Service might look like in the next 5 to 10 years, sort of the vision, at the federal level, and then it filters down to the state level. So if having it parking for if the post office in Berry City expands and they consolidate operations, still have mail delivery, you still get your mail at home, but they go in a little bit different direction. If we can help accommodate that, we're kind of like the only game in town in Berry.
Sure.
So, I don't think they could buy the convenience store next door and tear it down. That would be ridiculous. It would be an incredible financial investment. So, Josh at Gusto's, sometimes his customers need parking. Even in the city of Berry. I mean, when people talk about...
Especially on Wing Wednesday, Tom.
Absolutely on Wing Wednesday. And Happy Hour Friday. So when you look at those, and, even the city of Berry, I've had discussions with Nicholas about, well, if we did... Because I told the post office, my only response was, hey, we'll see. I'm happy to have the conversation at the right time, but you got to share. If you're going to be a big old pig about it, well, you got to share, because you may only need 20 spaces right now, and then maybe we could take... And I had the conversation with Nicholas saying, look, I'm open to the conversation of taking city staff, some of whom park a little ways away from City Hall, and moving that part, sharing with the post office.
Sure.
So I'm happy to have all kinds of conversations, and we're going to have those conversations. But there's no, from my point of view, there's no sense of urgency other than kind of narrowing down where do I want to redeploy those funds. Mm-hmm. Would I be better off in the short term buying something else and renovating it, something that could be converted to housing more quickly than you're 2 years out. Even if I said, look, we're going to build 25 units, 30 units, pick your number, we're 2 years out. No matter how I look at it, probably more.
What's going on with Prospect Heights? It feels like I just haven't been hearing an awful lot about it for a while.
We're regrouping. After being turned down by the Northern Borders Regional Commission, that that took a little bit of wind out of our sails, but we still have a good core group, and we have to continue to, despite the fact that we don't get a lot of support from certain people, we have to figure a way to move that project forward. JD, we need the housing desperately. And, our employers need the housing. Central Vermont Medical Center.
Yeah.
I was astounded, 200 vacancies. I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. And I know in the lab, because, Alex is there and I see the hours that he works and, getting called in and struggling, so I see that part of it, but I never realized it was a number that big.
And that's just the hospital. That doesn't count the nursing homes, the schools. There's just so many vacancies.
So we're not going to
everywhere.
attract people to live in Vermont, and there's a lot of people who have relocated to Vermont, and they all, when I talk to them, they all say the same thing. I was really fortunate to find housing. It took me months and months and months and months. So we need the housing. Is
there ever any thought of housing or a building that is for 65 and older? When look at the Berry Manor now, and anybody can live there, and we have so many homes that are occupied by older people that sometimes are literally blocking the second floor off because they don't use it anymore. They don't want to heat it, but they don't have any place to go that's affordable. And those homes could go on the market if they did, but there's no place for them.
Yeah. That was a component of, I had spoken to John Mandeville. I don't know if you know John. John is the executive director of Central Vermont Council on Aging. You should have John in sometime. John, in a previous life, John was in economic development in the Northeast Kingdom. Brilliant, brilliant guy. Now he's running Central Vermont Council on Aging. And he and I have had a lot of conversations. When we talked about Prospect Heights, I said, John, my mom, for example, is in that exact situation. She lives in a 4-bedroom house by herself. I don't know that Mom has a desire to go anywhere else, but even if she did, and I've heard this from a lot of seniors who would say, look, we'd love to downsize, but we don't have anywhere to go. Mm-hmm. And, I don't really want to get an apartment in a duplex, in Barrie, because, no offense, I'd rather have an apartment in a senior living community because I love children, I love watching them play, I love hearing them play, but when I want to get away from them, I want to shut my doors, and I want peace and quiet, and I want things my way.
Well, and then they can do things together as well.
And we don't have any opportunities. So, and not all seniors qualify to live in North Barrie Manor. So even if they said, boy, there are a lot of other seniors and we have a lot in common and I'd like to live there, well, they don't qualify. So we literally have nothing in Central Vermont for a senior who does not qualify for any sort of subsidized housing. Mm-hmm. We don't have any opportunities for them to downsize. We don't have a senior community where they could be around people,
right?
People their own age and downsize into something with full services. They're not shuffling the driveway or the walkway. Something with full services that where they could live. We don't have anything like that. So
by the time we do, you and I might be living there together, Tom.
Probably will.
Playing cards together on Wednesday night.
Yeah. Bring your wallet, buddy. Gonna clean you out.
Anything else that you want to air out this morning?
No, I mean, other than glad to see the rain stop.
Yeah.
Holy mackerel. It raises hell with the lawn mowing. Mm-hmm. I got different lawns that I mow, and I really enjoy doing it. I do a lot of thinking when I mow. And, it raised hell with that schedule.
Sure.
Man. I'm playing catch-up.
Jason Gauthier's doing the same thing. He's jammed.
Yeah. So I'm playing catch-up this afternoon. I got a lot of work to do, and I'm hoping mid-afternoon, late afternoon can jump on the mower and get going.
All right.
But you guys good? Everything?
Thank you.
Well, other than the fact that you got beat up by the council.
But I'm good. I still have a great deal of respect for Sam Stockwell. I actually could listen to that woman talk all day. She just has that soft, calm voice. Mm-hmm. I could see myself having a conversation with her and being willing and open to hearing whatever she had to say. I'm okay. It happened, and we got a lot of stuff out there, and maybe saw some true colors on all sides last night. I don't know, but I'm okay, and I'm still on the planning commission, and we have a lot of work to do. So let's go.
There you go.
I'm still worked out. This is going to be a 48-hour one. Remember, it's only been about 12 hours. So
right. I was going to say.
It's all, and I hate that crap because I want to let it go. I do, but I got to be honest with you. It was the first, as soon as I got up this morning, as soon as I opened my eyes and,
Oh, I absolutely thought
it's
about it.
It's like, first
I'm
thing is, okay, today
it.
is Wednesday, and that's the first thought. Today is Wednesday. And then the second thought is, freaking council meeting.
Yeah. I mean,
honest to God, and I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be going a little more scorched earth.
Yeah.
I'm going to call people out when something is preordained and planned.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be hearing about it.
Mm-hmm. The other day, somebody got out of their car, and it was kind of like Cheech and Chong up in smoke. It was all the smoke that came out of the car. And it just reminded me of asking you again, is there any way to get James Pepper in here?
I'm sure. I mean, I can reach out to him.
I would love to talk with him.
He returns my calls.
I would love to chat with him about all of that stuff.
Well, you know what you should do is before you, I mean, what I would do, if you don't mind me suggesting,
please,
I would talk to a few of the growers, talk to a few of the retailers, have them in, and ask them, hey, how do you think it's going? You know, what have your challenges been? How's your experience? Right. I think, you know what, JD, I haven't heard. We had a couple of missteps in the beginning. They levied some fines against a couple of growers. You know, initially we heard that testing was a real challenge.
Okay.
Have you heard much? I mean,
No.
I haven't heard.
No.
You know, other than people coming out of the retail facilities like smiling, like, come on.
Right.
I mean, no, I haven't. Honestly, I haven't heard
anyone on from the Cannabis Control Board. Anyone.
No, but I haven't heard. I haven't heard, and I talked to the growers. I mean, I know Nick and Angela over at Forbin's, and I haven't heard that there have, you know, really been any issues. The interesting thing for me is sports betting is legal in Vermont right now.
Yes, right. Yeah.
So I happen to sit on that board at the state level.
Sure.
And it's, so we've got to roll that out by the end of the year. And, you know, so we anticipate that it will be live by, certainly we're hoping playoff season, so our target date is the end of the year. And so in terms of, you know, regulatory stuff, that's going to be where I'm spending most of my time, you know, this summer, just doing a lot of reading, learning.
Sure.
It's an interesting industry. It's an industry that I never really thought much about it, and was sort of surprised when I learned how many people in Vermont are currently participating. They're just doing it in another state. That was a little surprising to me. So we'll do it well. Commissioner is, you know, Wendy Knight is smart. Served with a lot of smart board people. We'll get it right. We'll do it well, and we'll get it right. So.
I see that Special Counsel John Durham's going to be testifying before Congress today about the 2016 FBI investigation into the Russian election interference. Boy, there's a lot of shit going on. And former President Donald Trump's mishandling of classified documents, that trial could start as early as August 14th.
No way. No way.
That's what they're saying this morning, Tom.
Not going to happen.
August 14th.
Oh,
That's
no.
Tomorrow.
The attorneys will couple of motions, punt it down the road, blah, blah, blah.
All 5 passengers on this missing tourist submarine en route to the Titanic, they've got about 30 hours of oxygen left before they run out. Yep. And this morning, news was breaking that the Coast Guard could hear some sounds. They're searching
they believe they could hear
900 miles.
Just say a quick prayer.
The other
I hope
side
everything
of Cape
turns
Cod.
out. I can't even imagine what their families are going through and their friends and the rescuers and the pressure on them. So just say a prayer. I hope everything. I just hope everything works out. Yes. Hope there's a happy ending.
Thank you for coming in, Tom.
Thanks for having me.
We appreciate you.
Mow your lawn.
Yeah.
Get it done.
Okay.
What?
Yeah. No. No. Thank you again.
Thank you.
We'll see
Have
you
a
again.
good day.
Yeah. Tropical Storm Brett, which is the second named storm of the Atlantic hurricane season, expect to arrive in the Caribbean by the end of this week. And I've been meaning to get Roger Hill on at some point here real soon, so that we can chat about summertime, and now that we're through the rain here. What's that? What's going on? What's going on?
Josh Akers.
Well,
It was being used.
All right. The Vermont Mountaineers picked up a 2-1 win over the Bristol Blues last night at Recreation Field in Montpelier. They improved to 8-3 in the season. Blues dropped to 5-6. I think the The next one, Vermont's going to be welcoming the Ocean State Wave into town tomorrow with a doubleheader. Game 1 set for 4 p.m. Do we have anything that we want to talk about at all?
I think we've talked about just about everything we could possibly talk about.
What's going on?
Mr. Green.
What's going on?
Josh Akers was just saying, like the Bonacorsi building, there'd be police going in there every morning. That's because I let them use it for tactical training.
Here, you don't have a mic anymore.
Yeah.
Here.
What?
Hey, Thom Lauzon always has a microphone.
Because he didn't have a microphone.
What? What do I need a microphone?
Because to answer the question.
To answer the question. So we've let law enforcement use our buildings often. They used to train at our building up in Berlin, and they do tactical training, where they do like search and rescue tactical training. And so we were letting them use the Bonacorsi building this spring for that.
Okay. All right. Is that it? All right. Listen, take good care of one another. Be kind. Don't be an asshole. Right? Don't forget Bearded Belligerents. I think they're playing tonight. Mike Harrington was just on with us it's tonight, the 21st. Over at, where are they playing in Burlington? Shit. Why am I drawing a blank? Where are they playing, the Bearded Belligerents? Higher Ground. That's it. Higher Ground tonight. Rockfire this weekend in Barrie. We're going to talk a lot more about that in our community calendar, which we bring to you each and every morning, brought to you by The World, Central Vermont's favorite weekly newspaper, and online. Yeah, catch the digital version, vt-world.com. We love them. But that's one big thing that's in the world is Rockfire. The other thing, tonight being the 21st, and this is a date that we've been talking about a whole hell of a lot for quite a while. The Central Vermont Chamber of Commerce has a mixer at Boldock Metal Recycling and Storage Containers in Montpelier tonight. I'll be there live on Aired Out. We've got a great 50-50 raffle benefiting the Snoozlin Room at Wellspace right here on Summer Street in the Granite City, the Imagination Station. So that's one of the big-ticket items tonight over at Bulldogs, but they're going to have all kinds of games and fun and drinks and just everything. It's going to be a good time. So we'll see you there tonight, 5 o'clock, the next Chamber Mixer. The other big story, and I know I would just close it out here, Hunter Biden going to enter a guilty plea in the federal case related to his taxes, according to court documents yesterday. So that's one of the big national stories. It's, oh my God, what is going on right now? Thanks, Raylene. Thanks for everything this morning and for having some nads last night.
I always will. And the thing about my Facebook page is everything that I have ever put on my page in regards to the mayor, the city, anything remains there. You can find it. I stand by what I say, even when I'm telling the mayor to go shit in the woods with a bear. It's still there.